One of the other featured speakers was veteran White House correspondent Helen Thomas. Commonly referred to as the First Lady of the Press, Thomas is the most senior member of the White House press corps, has covered every president since John F. Kennedy. Thomas has been a leading critic of the Bush administration and of the press corps during the lead-up to the Iraq invasion. Her new book is called Watchdogs of Democracy, the Waning Washington Press Corps and How It's Failed the Public. Well, on March 21st, 2006, Thomas was called upon directly by President Bush. For the first time at one of his news conferences in 3 years, Thomas asked him about Iraq.
I'd like to ask you, Mr. President, your decision to invade Iraq has caused the deaths of thousands of Americans and Iraqis, wounds of Americans and Iraqis for a lifetime. Every reason given, publicly at least, has turned out not to be true. My question is, why did you really want to go to war? From the moment you stepped into the White House, from your cabinet, former cabinet officers, intelligent people, and so forth. What was your real reason? You have said it wasn't oil, quest for oil. It hasn't been Israel or anything else. What was it?
I think your premise, and all due respect to your question and to you as a lifelong journalist, is that, I didn't want war. To assume I wanted war is just flat wrong, Helen, and all due respect. No, hold on for a second, please. Excuse me. No president wants war. Everything you may have heard is that, but it's just simply not true. My attitude about the defense of this country changed on September the 11th. When we got attacked, I vowed then and there to use every asset at my disposal to protect the American people. Our foreign policy changed on that day, Helen. We used to think we were secure because of oceans and previous diplomacy, but we realized on September the 11th, 2001, that killers could destroy innocent life. And I'm never going to forget it. And I'm never going to forget the vow I made to the American people, that we will do everything in our power to protect our people. Part of that meant to make sure that we didn't allow people to provide safe haven to an enemy, and that's why I went into Iraq. Hold on for a second. Excuse me for a second, please. Excuse me for a second. They did. The Taliban provided safe haven for Al-Qaeda. That's where Al-Qaeda trained and... Helen, excuse me. That's where
And so it went. President Bush being questioned by Helen Thomas at the news conference last March. Well, Democracy Now! Caught up with Helen Thomas.